Once again, very good morning to everyone. In the last class, we were discussing the third component of your first unit, which is nothing but highway development. How the development are happened with respect to the constructions of roads. Also, we quickly discussed the different committees, how it can be formed and who all are the people involved in that committee and what is their responsibility. So those things we have discussed in the previous lecture. In the today class, we will continue to that highway development. We will see the 20-year plan. So in India, we have introduced three plans like a 20 years plan, first 20 year, second 20 year and third 20 year. With respect to the different committees, with respect to the different objectives, we have introduced all the plans to give the development in the field of the road infrastructure. With the aim, the first 20-year plan they have introduced in 1943, which used to refer as the Nagpur Road Plan. Most of the chief engineers are involved to implement this particular 20-year road plan. It might be the national wise or the central wise, the people are involving in that particular project. So in that particular project, the roads are classified into the 5 different categories with respect to the village road, district road, okay, then the highways, that might be the state highways and the national highways, then the other district road. So 5 classifications they have given with respect to the road network, and the responsibility of the central government is taken for the development and maintaining of the national highway. Under this project, they have targeted 5,32,700 kilometers at the end of 1961. So probably all this year's number, there is a chance to ask in your exams, competitive exams, not in our current exam, but there is a high possibilities to ask the range of the first 20-year plan, the second 20-year plan, or what will be the target of the first 20-year plans and when they are planning to achieve the target. So those kind of the questions we can expect in your competitive exams. Also, they have defined the density 16 kilometer of road length per 100 square kilometer area. So this is the target and the conditions they have fixed. Other than that, they have the criteria to form the star and grid pattern of road network. So road network might be the rectangular one or the star one or the circular one or the grid one. So they have formulated based on their plan. It is a star and the grid pattern of the road network development they were targeting. Including that, they are giving the 15% of the allowance for the agriculture industrial development during those 20 years. So these are the things they have a consider in the first 20 years plan. Other than that, what the differ in the between the first and the other 20-year plan is there. First 20-year plan, they have a consider the length of the rail track also, which is existing or the decided in that particular road corridor. So example, 50 kilometers they are considering for the Tiruchirappalli city. 20 kilometer is maybe they are planning for the railway target and the remaining 30 kilometer for the roadway. So this is the way they have included the railway track also in the first 20 years plans that make the changes between the other 20-year plans and the first 20-year plan. So this is the highlights of the first 20 years plans. They try to implement it. Exactly, they have implemented with respect to the lot of network development, particularly the road network development to reach the core area of the Indian, which is nothing but the village area also. So that is the target they achieved from the first 20-year plan. While ongoing the first 20-year plan, so before completing that particular plan, IRC, so last class we have seen Indian Road Congress. So the different kind of the researchers and the engineers involving in that particular committee. So 1951 and the 53 they were initiated and start activating in the field of the transportation sector. So those chief engineers they have initiated the second 20-year plan in the year 1959. So the years are very crucial. You just keep in your mind if you are planning for your competitive exam. initiated 1959, but the plan is targeted within the 1961 to 81. And this plan is considering as a Bombay road plan. So first one will be the Nagpur, the second one will be the Bombay road plan. And their target is twicer than the first road plan, Nagpur road plan. So there we have seen 5 lakhs kilometer, and here they are targeting the 10 lakhs kilometer. Also the density is double, 16 to 32 kilometer per 100 square meter. Also here they have come up with the criteria. Instead of connecting so many places without any logic, so they came with some of the population statistics. If one town having the 2000 populations in a plain terrain and 1000 populations in the semi-hilly area and above 500 in the hilly area, then all the town should be connected by the proper design road. So this is a criteria they were fixed with respect to the populations instead of randomly connecting A, B, C, D and all. How the population is existing, how the criteria is there. If it falls under that particular threshold, then they're going for the constructions and the implementations purpose. So this is the things with respect to the criteria. In continuation of that, they were planning for the expressway, semi-development area also they were considering. Length of the network is considered, but it considered as an independent of road system. And also they were allotting. So basically when the constructions are or the plannings are happening, you should consider for the three kind of the cases. Okay, one is what will be the present scenario and how the solutions can be given. This will be the solution. Second will be the maintenance. So once the solution is proposed, how the maintenance are going to happen. So that is also need to be considered. Solutions, maintenance for the present conditions, but the changes are happening in year by year. Am I right? So how we are going to accommodate that changer, how the future developments are going to happen. So that is also need to be considered when you are proposing any project. So with that particular aim, so they were considered 5% to be provided for the future development. It might be the financial or it might be the road width. So now it might be the 2-lane road, but future it may extend for the 2 more lanes. So 4-lane divided. So that future expansions also it can be considered in that particular second 20-year plan. So these are the highlights about the second 20-year plan. So once it is ended, they were planned for the third 20-year plans with respect to the little bit advanced classifications. So that we will see in that next topic. Under this third 20-year plan, so they will revise the classifications of the road and they were defined as a primary, secondary and the tertiary roadway system. So they have a classified. Under the classifications, they were defining different kind of the criteria with respect to the populations and the density and what kind of that what we can say grid pattern, road network pattern we are following. So according to the different classifications and essential features they have a defined that they try to implement in that particular third 20-year plan. So under that plan, so the one of the attractive and the most advanced development is nothing but the expressway. So most of them might be aware in that expressway. Still we will explain in the next chapter. So the expressway also consider along the major traffic corridors that can be introduced in the third 20-year plan. And they also come up with some of the populations to connect to the major district road and other district road 1500 and 1000 to 1500. So this classification is slightly modified from the second 20-year plan. Also, so they were giving the less industrialized area to attract the growth of the industries. So initially less attractions will be there, but when the booming are happening, growths are happening, it is expanding, right? So to considering that future expansion, they were planning how the less industrialized area can be considered for the development of the road as well as that industrial part. So this is the things they have a consider, and mainly they will consider the road geometric, how they are going to maintain it, future widening, how it is going to happen, how we are increasing the riding quality, how to strengthen the payment conditions, how to increase or save the vehicle operation cost, as well as the conserve energy. So all together, so they were given the more focus in the third 20-year plan. So according to that, they have given the design as well as the implementations oriented solutions under the third 20-year plans. Yes, so this is the third chapter. We have discussed highway development in India. So particularly in the highway development, we have started with respect to the ancient British, Roman and advanced things under how it has happened. Then in India, what are the different committees has been formed under the committee, how the first, second and the third 20-year plan has been happened, that we were discussed in your highway development in India. This is the third chapter. So there's a high chance of asking your competitive questions with respect to the year or the population's threshold, or when it is initiated, when it is ended, or the name for the different 20-year plan, Nagpur plan, Bombay plan, or the difference between the first 20-year and second 20-year, and what will be the total road length. So these kind of that simple questions, but it has to be keep in your mind as in the memory with respect to the values. So that is expected competitive questions in your GATE exams or IAS or some other UPSC exam. So try to focus on those questions from the third chapter. The next one, we are moving to the fourth chapter. The today class we are going to cover. It is a very simple chapter, the network pattern and the classifications of roads. When we are planning for constructing the new city or the city planning or the road network, we have to come up with some of the proper design pattern, right? So instead of now we can able to see one example. I'm just telling that some of them might be knowing that Mumbai city. So Mumbai, how it is oversaturated with respect to the road network pattern, that we can able to feel it and what we can say experience it. To avoid those kind of that conditions, they were shifted most of the things to the Navi Mumbai. So the Navi Mumbai is a little bit the grid pattern and the well-planned network pattern, which accommodate and reduce that saturation flow of that particular city. So this is in a one example I'm telling, without any network pattern or the proper design, how the conditions is spoiled or not spoiled, how it is saturated. And when the same time, when you're trying to propose some of the design pattern or the proper criteria, how it is executed for the facilities. So this the one example, this difference between the Mumbai and the Navi Mumbai. So according to that, the transportation engineer and the designers, we have the different classifications of the road network pattern. I'm just highlighting the points, but you have to explore which cities we have with respect to the particular pattern in India. So mostly all the patterns are existing in India and one or two patterns are not existing, but that can be identified for the developed countries. Some of the foreign countries they have adopted. So the first one will be the radial, or we can say star and the block pattern. So you can able to see this is the radial also, then the block also we have it. So this is the one thing. And only rectangular or the blocks also we have. So this is in a one type of that pattern which we used to design. The second one will be the radial and circular. So this is a circular and this is a radial way. So from the circular, how the radials are connected. So this is the one example taken from the New Delhi. So likewise, we have the different kind of the pattern also. Even Chennai also we defined the pattern. Hyderabad also pattern is there. Hyderabad also some patterns are there. So likewise, you just try to explore for the other pattern. So this is the radial and the grid pattern. So instead of the block, so we have the grid type we have, including the star. Then the hexagonal, then the minimum travel pattern. So here the term is very defined one. So basically you know the destinations A and B. So this might be the one of the route to reach it, and this might be the another route, and this might be the another route. So which one will be the shortest path? So that can be designed. So between the origin and the destinations. At the same time, we have to see is there any obstacles are there or any boundaries are there to overcome that, how we are bridges or alternative routes we are providing. So all the things can be considered. So according to that, the design can be implemented on the field. So when it is coming to the minimal travel plan, so we are considering the shortest path that can be how achieved on the field. That feasibilities we are considering under this particular category. So this is a very straightforward network pattern. 7 patterns are there. So most of the patterns are existing on India. So there is a possibilities to ask the what cities having the star and the grid pattern in India. One example I'm telling. So likewise, there is a high possibilities of asking the question. And I think one time I have seen some of the gate questions match actually 4 patterns they have given. So according to that city, they have given Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Delhi. So you have to match it. So this is also some of the observed questions we can expect in your exams, competitive exams, with respect to the network pattern and with respect to the matching cities in India. The next, the simple component is the classifications of roads. In the highway development, I told us you might be seen the 5 classification systems, the highways, okay, arterial road. I told that village road and mostly you might be familiar with that particular terms, but most of them might not be knowing that. So those details we are going to cover in the today this particular chapter, classifications of road, how we are classifying the road, so that we are going to cover it. So basically, different ways are there to classify the highway or the road structure. We can say there is no one standard pattern to explain it. Different kind of the patterns are there. So one is with respect to the weather. So with respect to accepting or adopting the weather, how we can classify the road. Some roads better for all the weather conditions, but some roads we have to considering the weather and we are constructing that particular road. Maybe the snow area, the over rainy area will be there, or the totally dry areas will be there. So according to that, the temperature height will be there when you're planning for the bituminous road and all. So considering the weather, so without considering the weather, how we are classifying the road. So that will be the first classifications we can say. Or how we classify with respect to the carriageway. So maybe you studied in the madam class, or you might be knowing the cross sections of the road network. So with respect to the carriageway, else we will see in the last chapter of the today, last chapter of the first unit. With respect to the paved road, unpaved road, so we can classify it. Okay, so then the next one will be the pavement surface, surfaced roads, unsurfaced road. So bituminous or the concrete road will be there. Unpaved, unsurfaced road is the ancient road. So in the highway development, first we have seen ancient road, right? So the hostel also I told example, if you want to go walk like this, take the 90-degree turning and you are going. So this is the road we provided, but you find the shortcut. So this is the considering as an unpaved road or the unsurfaced road. So that can be one of the way we can define the type of the road. The next way with respect to the volume. So heavy volume will be there. Sometimes the medium volume will be there. Light will be there. So this 3 having the classifications. IRC we have the standard. So there we have the some of the threshold. So according to the threshold, they might be observing 1 hour traffic volume in that particular road. Okay. So if it is going more than 1000 vehicle per hour, so then it is considering as an medium, okay, medium traffic or the high traffic. So likewise we have the classifications. Also we have defined the threshold value. So under that how it is falling. So according to that we are classifying either whether it will be the heavy traffic road, medium traffic road, or the light traffic road. Then the based on the load of the tonnage, so later part of the design of the flexible pavement in the 4th unit, you might be studying the class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4 or A to D. So with respect to the tons per day, so according to that, the road can be classified. Then the mostly the Nagpur road plan, what they have introduced, I told that 5 classification. That 5 classification is nothing but national highway, state highway, major district road, other district road, and village road. So all the classifications we will see the separate explanations in the further slides. In the meanwhile, we have seen the third plan. They have a defined classified with respect to three criteria: primary, secondary and tertiary. Under the primary, the new facilities we were introduced, which is nothing but expressway and the national highways, the default. So this two is coming under the primary. Maybe this two also we can assume that it is coming under the central government facilities. Then the secondary and the territory is coming under the state highway, major district road. So this is we can say as a purely the state government taking the responsibility. Then the territory, it is coming under the other district road and village road. So this might be the village panchayat. So like that, the different from the central to the state to the panchayat wise we can divide it as so. So this is the three classifications we have given under the third 20-year plan, but instead of the 5 classifications we were added one more, which is nothing but the expressway. So this is a final road classification. Still we were following for the Indian conditions. So other than that, very recently we have introduced the freeways. Freeways we can able to see in the Mumbai cities also. We were introduced the freeways that is relatively similar to the expressway, but which we provided in the central core area of the city. Expressway might be connecting the outer region, but this is provided in the central part of the city. We were provided the freeway. So this is the classifications. In case if you want to explain a little bit more about the classifications, the expressway basically it carries the heavy traffic with respect to the 120 km/h. They are considering the 90-meter full access control will be there in that particular corridor when you are traveling, and it is connecting the major traffic generations. Example, two major cities or two major destinations it is connecting. The slow moving vehicles it's not allowed. So the 120 km is there. So regularly it is monitored in that particular corridor, because entry and exit you might be having the toll gate. It is connected your travel time. In this particular corridor you have to cross within 30 minutes. So that criteria it is there, and the control monitoring also there. You are not allowed to stop your vehicle in this particular corridor. The police will be there, so who is regularly monitoring your movement in that particular expressway. So that's the reasons there is no slow moving vehicles are not allowed. So no loading or unloading behavior won't be happening. There is no parking. Okay, so all the things we are strictly following in the expressway. So the main motivation is to connect two major cities or the major origin and the destinations, to give the convenient more travel time saving with respect to the speed of the vehicle. So all the benefits they have to get it when we are providing this particular expressway. And this is the one of the example, Mumbai to Pune expressway. This is a picture taken from the Kandala. So this is one example, and these are the major points can be considered why we are defining that particular corridor as an expressway. So hope you are understanding the term expressway. The next remaining terms, I'm sure that you well aware national highway, and that another will be the state highway. So basically the national highway is the main highway running through the length and breadth of the India. So it is connecting the major part of India, like a foreign highways, capital of the state, large industrial and the tourist centers. So all the things are connected with the national highways. Example, if you want to travel from Tiruchi to Chennai, or Chennai to Hyderabad, or Hyderabad to Nagpur, Nagpur to the Mumbai. So all the things are connected with respect to the national highways, and the allowable speed is 100 km/h. So the national highways having the length of 70,548 kilometers, which is 2% of the overall length, but it carries the 40% of the total traffic. So the maximum traffic, I told that the high traffics are moving in that expressway as well as the national highways. So that is the reasons 40% of the traffics are carried in this particular 2% of the road corridor, which is nothing but your national highways, NH. So the NH1 is connecting between the Delhi, Ambala and Amritsar. So that the annexure is defined NH1A, which is connecting between the Jalandhar to Srinagar and Uri. So this is the NH1, and the longest NH is considering as an NH7, which is connecting in the Varanasi to Kanyakumari. So Varanasi from Uttar Pradesh and Kanyakumari from Tamil Nadu. So this both are connected, and that national highway is referred as a longest highway, NH7. And the shortest highway is NH47A annexer, which is connecting between the Ernakulam and Kochi with a total length of the 4 kilometers. And we can say that the one of the biggest achievement in the road network pattern as well as the implementation is the GQ, Golden Quadrilateral, how it is connected in India, the 4 major part of the India. So within 5,846 kilometers, it is connected between the Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. So this is the things they have connected. Delhi to Kolkata National Highway 2, which is covering 1453. So this is the things between the Delhi and Kolkata. Chennai to Mumbai 1290. So it is transferring from the National Highway 4 to 7, 7 to 46. And the longest length is Kolkata to Chennai, so 1684, which is crossing towards the Andhra, Odisha, and it is reaching the West Bengal, which is nothing but the Kolkata with a length of 1684. Finally, Delhi to Mumbai, 1419 kilometer. So this is one of that we can say notable achievement, not current situations. So in the road network pattern, if you are considering the 15-20 years back, so this GQ is one of the better implementations we can say. So now we were in the far ahead with respect to the facilities, with respect to the monorail, metro rail, tunnel systems. Even in the Mumbai, we have started with respect to the under the sea also we are providing the road network. So all the developments are happened with respect to the different requirement. So this is a brief about the national highway and the state highway. It is everybody is very well known. Under the state, the major state to state, district to district, and the different cities can be connected with respect to the state highway. And the total length of the state highway in the country is 1,37,119 kilometers. And the speed can be calculated 80 kilometers per hour. So all the statistics with respect to the last year's statistics, there is a high chance to increase all this length. I advise the students to explore your free time. So what is the statistic of the total length currently for the Indian conditions? So definitely it will be introduced. There is a chance of getting the data in the online. So sometimes you might be getting the MOAT or some of the official website of the Indian government where the infrastructural, particularly the road infrastructural development happened, how the changes are observed. So that can be identified from that online sources. So this is with respect to the state highway. Then another one will be the major district road. So this is within the district, so how it is connected, and probably they are following the 60 to 80 kilometers speed in that particular corridor. And the total length is 4,70,000. At the same time, the other district road also can be defined, but the speed range is 50 to 60 kilometer. The same purpose, but in the rural area we are serving with respect to the restricted speed. So this is nothing but other district road. The final one will be the village road. It is a straightforward term, and India has a 26,50,000 kilometers of other district and village road together. When we are comparing with the total road of 33,15,231 kilometers. So based on that last statistics, and the speed is allowed for the village road is 40 to 50 kilometers since it is connecting the more villages. So within a 5 kilometer, you can able to see 6-7 villages with respect to the lot of speed calming measures, which is nothing but the speed breaker. So that's what the speed limit is restricted to 40 to 50 kilometer. So this is then a classifications of uh, roads with respect to the third 20-year plan, still which we are following for the Indian conditions. So this is the one way we can classify. The another way, urban. What is the meaning of the urban? Which is nothing but the if better explanations. The city is considering as an urban. Example: the Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, okay, Bangalore. So these are all considering as an urban area or the urban cities. How the roads are classified in within that urban area. So that might be one of the questions you might be rising in your mind. So for that particular question, the answer is this is the way we can classify the road with respect to the urban area. So arterial, subarterial, collector, local street, pathway, and the driveway. So maybe I will explain with respect to the pictures. So this is an expressway or the national highway we are traveling. Okay, from that this is in a city, or you may assume that this might be the Delhi city. So you want to reach your house in the Delhi. From the expressway to it is connected. So that is considering as an arterial road, which is running outer skit of the Delhi city. So once you enter in that arterial road to reach your house, you might be reaching in the city roads, which is nothing but the subarterial road. From the city roads, you have to reach your area, your street. It might be the KK Nagar, it might be the Mahatma Gandhi Nagar and all. So the local street when you're trying to reach, so that is considering as a local street classifications. From the local street, then the pathway will be there. Street 1, street 2, street 3. So that pathway, it is nothing but the pathway that we are classifying from the local street to the local street. So once, sorry, collector road will be there. From the collector road to you are going for the local street. So this will be the local street. From the local street, you might be having that apartment and all. So apartment and all parking area somewhere will be there. So this will be the road, local road you are going. From the local road to reach your parking. So we are providing the driveway as an individual personally we are providing. So that is considering as a driveway to reach your final parking slot or your home. So this is the way we can classify the urban road from the expressway to till reaching your home, how the roads are classified with respect to the volume, with respect to the area which is covered, with respect to the purpose, how it is fulfilled, with respect to the speed limit and the land width, how we are providing, and some other criteria. The parking might be restricted, parking might be allowed. So with respect to the other criteria, so these roads are classified as an arterial, subarterial, collector, local road, and pathways and the driveway. So this is the classifications we have given, and the same things I have explained over here. The arterial road, there is a no standing vehicle, very little cross traffic will be there. That means the junctions, very less junctions will be there. 80 kilometers we are providing as a design speed. 50 to 60 meter divided road with full or partial parking facilities are allowed. Pedestrians are walking in that intersections only. There is a no median or there is a no jumping, and the crossings are not allowed for the pedestrian. So this is with respect to the arterial. The same subarterial bus stops will be there, but there's no standing for the other vehicles. Less mobility than arterial road. It 0.5 kilometer distance from the central business development area. That road is classified as a subarterial. Also 60 km per hour is the design speed. Land width is nothing but 30 to 40 kilometers we are provided in that particular road. Collector road, as I mentioned, that it is collecting and distributing the traffic. It is giving the access for the arterial as well as the subarterial road. Mostly it is covering the residential, business, commercial, if it industries falls, industrial area in that particular city. That the parking is permitted, design speed is 50 km per hour. Then the local street is 30 km per hour when we are entering in your particular local area, 10 to 20 meter, because from the city outer to the center area, when you are trying to reach, the density is more, the availability of land width is reducing. So that's what we can able to see the land width is how it is reducing from arterial to the local street. And here the less volume of traffic because we were following the slow traffic movement, unrestricted parking, pedestrian movements are allowed. So this is the local street. The finally will be the driveway, as I told that to reach your apartment, or you can able to see the petrol pump, the fuel stations and all. Sometimes from that arterial road to you have to connect it. So that connecting road we were considering as a driveway. So this is the way we can explain the driveway, how it is classified. So yes, here I'm ending the today session. So in the today class, we have seen the remaining part of the highway development in India. So 320-year plans, how it is existing, how the network patterns are classified, okay, with respect to the different cases. Then the classifications of roads we have seen, and there is a high chance of asking in the competitive exam with respect to the years, kilometer and other terms, so that we already defined when we are covering that particular slides. So there is a high scope for asking simple questions, but it will be tricky because of the years and the numbers. So try to keep in your memories all the values if you are focusing for the GATE or IAS or some other UPSC exams. So here I'm concluding the today's session. So tomorrow we will see the principles of highway alignment and different kind of the surveys. If you have any doubts, you just post the questions or I will unmute. You just ask the questions. So you have requested for the slide, I understand. So probably tomorrow I will try to cover the remaining chapter. Else I will upload whatever it is completed so far, the PPTs. But anyway, the video is recorded. So every time you have in the hand, so instead of just reading the PPT, so many of the things I'm just explaining in the video, so which will be useful for your current exams as well as the future if you're going for the competitive exams. So definitely it will be useful. So the many things I'm explaining other than the points which I floated in the PPT. So if it is a classroom, so definitely you might be noting down in the pen and paper in your notes, but since it is an online mobile or the laptop, you might be connecting and simply you are passing. So the best idea is that to download the videos while you're studying, you just play back the video or just you play that video one time, definitely you will get the good knowledge. So that will be the suggested from my side instead of blindly reading and coming for the exams. So since it is happening in the online exam, it might be we can consider it as an open book test only, but you have the good knowledge once you completing the BTech. When you are going outside the simple questions when we are asking, so if you're not able to answer it, so then think about your situations by your own. So that is the things I request the students, don't take it the light. Some of the basics, fundamentals and all, you have to learn it, understand it and keep in the mind always, irrespective of subjects, not only the transportation structure or the other stream also. So any doubts so far what we have covered in that first unit?
Sir, is there any fourth 20-year road plan? Fourth and fifth?
No. There is no only third 20-year plan was there. So after that, whatever the systems is existing, still we are following. Just we are modifying, and the little bit expansions are happening. So after that, different kind of that policies government has implemented under the smart city planning, make in India. So different kind of the schemes, policies they have introduced once the Indian politics is changing. So according to that, the modifications are happening. So there is no fixed plan. Okay, if there is no doubt, we will wind up the today session. We can meet tomorrow. Thank you everyone. See you tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you once again. I'm ending the
Sir.
session.